Representative Altendorf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sitting on the Climate and Energy Committee meeting, I just want to say the experience that we had, and of course we most of us should know in this body, this was rammed through so fast that this only went to one committee. And Minnesota needs to know this when so many of our other bills are really being vetted out, which that is democracy, right? You know, we want to make sure we get this right. Energy is way too important for us to be forcing this through. And yet, that's exactly what we saw. This only came through the Climate and Energy Committee, as I said, that I sit on. And it's very concerning to me to see our co-op members showing up and testifying. And I will tell you, each one of them started out by saying, we support this. We support green energy. We are moving towards this as fast as we can. And yet, this is too fast, too dangerous, too unreliable. We do not know if we can get there. Democrats, rural co-ops make up 1/3 of the electric grid in our state. 1/3. We cannot shun rural Minnesota and say, we don't care about you, rural Minnesota. We cannot say that. We don't care that you're not going to have reliable energy. Sitting on the Energy Committee, I have heard from co-op after co-op. Just this week, I had the Minnesota Municipal Utility Association come into my office, and they told me on December 23rd, if you all remember, the wind was blowing, we were negative degrees, and they said to me, they were moments away from telling us to power down. Moments away. And do you know why that happened? This is important. We cannot ignore what is happening with our energy grid. There was a huge windmill farm. I'm sorry, I don't remember where it is right now. I can find that out for you. But because of the cold temperatures, because of the wind, you think that would be generating all sorts of energy. It was frozen. The blades were frozen on the windmill farm. And that was a big contributing factor to why our energy dipped so low that it became this high-risk situation. Democrats, we cannot force through a bill that 1/3 of Minnesota electricity grid is saying they're concerned. And yet they're saying they want to get there. They're saying they're working towards this. They have told me that they think they can get to 80%, maybe 90%. But to say to get to 100% by 2040 in only 17 years is truly an impossibility. Democrats, you cannot ignore Greater Minnesota. You cannot shut them out of this debate. You cannot shut them out of this discussion. I urge you to vote for this amendment for our co-ops, for Greater Minnesota, for the farmers. Hey, DFL, isn't that in your name? Vote for rural Minnesota on this. You cannot leave this out of the equation.